What's up, guys? Let's talk about the real reason everything is the way it is right now. Kind of clickbait, but not. Um, it's social media. I mean, we all know it. It's completely destroyed. Here's what it is, in my estimation, relationship wise, and that's a huge part of society. That right now is what people are focusing on because without each other, and having a man for a woman and having and a woman having a man, like it just life is so much easier. And that's when I think about these issues, I can't help but think about just for me, like, I'm 37 years old now. Social media 2006 was like this fun college keg stand, oh, look at he's doing a keg stand being an idiot and just like young people, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and whenever it got like it just facilitated narcissism. And that's what I want to talk about this video kind of as like a warning and a just I'm just going to be as honest as I possibly can about exactly how I feel about this situation. As I'm, the only thing that's kept me alive through all of this, I one day I'll have balls, and with time I'll be able to understand even better about how I want to tell this this story. I have a story to be told. I just don't. It's still too vulnerable and whatever. I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to come from that angle. I want to come from as much clarity as possible. But let's just say that however I was raised and however I was brought up and my worldview was, my goal was essentially, like a lot of people, it's like be the, you get the validation, right? And it's almost as if society grew up with like, the reality TV just coming out, the Osbournes and all the MTV reality shows and all the, garbage TV at the time, and it was really convincing people that it was real. It's very sneaky. Um, no one will talk about this. It's like the most. I'm not in Hollywood, but I know enough to know, and it's coming out now. Like those are scripted, and they signed the most like your life is over contracts if they ever talk about the fact that they were scripted. Just like anything, because it's movie magic. You don't want to. It ruins the meat. It literally destroys the product. But anyway, that's a tangent. I grew up with that. Whatever. You want to be seen. You want to be whatever. And that's a lot of my generation was like we want to be seen. Probably had some narcissistic boomer parents. They want the same thing, but at a more simple time of movie. Being a movie star, like this simple shit. And then we grow up. We have like the social media influx. And God, that's the yin and the yang of it, right? If you're creating content and then you're like, look at me, validate me, and then people do, and you feel good. Other people don't feel good. Why did I get? They got 500 likes on that photo. I got 5, especially women. They go nuts with that shit. And then it made the women compare it. Oh god, it couldn't be any more toxic. It honestly should be illegal. If we cared about people in this country and in this world, we would have been like, failed experiment. This is made to destroy humanity. It really is. As I think about it, I think I got a pretty good perspective on it, and I've had it my whole adult life, and growing up, and so you got that. Then the women, yeah, they compare their man. Look at his, like, especially like people talk about them like the manosphere. Like, oh, women would try and like monkey branch. It's worse than that, because if a woman, if a man feel, this is how sick this shit is, seriously, and I've seen this firsthand. I don't think with envy. I think with, but that's not most people, and I mean, you can just blame the people, but Anyway, I'm trying to like super deduce things. I'm saying it's worse than just monkey branching. Like women just monkey branching to different guys. What I saw early on, although that might have been the case here and there, but like, or just another level to that is when men feel inferior to other men and their woman notices it, the woman has problems with the other woman, with the man. She hates the man. She hates the woman because her man's been devalued. It's like men do have an ego that is healthy. And if another man comes in the, like, and a weak man, this is another whole different tangent, but then you got weak men not building each other up. And with this whole social media thing, which I think is very feminine, guys should not even be on Facebook anymore. We shouldn't shouldn't have never been on it. It's like social media. That's like girls, in their little clubs and talking shit. Guys need to be out being guys. Like it's so, as soon as guys got on social media, it might not be as dangerous for us, but it also is like, it's a feminine thing to be like, care about your external validation and you're like, but that was a whole nother layer. Then it's like, oh, this is happening right now. FOMO, uh-oh. And then people are afraid of missing out. What did she say about Ryan? Look at what happened there. Oh, wait, I can't see that. I want to see that. Let me get a Facebook. And then you got a Facebook, you're stuck. I can't even delete mine. Then you got all the photos. Oh, it's my whole life. My Facebook's my life. I have photos from 2007. What if I forget those? Nobody gives a fuck. You don't look at them. Nobody cares. Sorry, I got a little excited. I fucking hate Facebook. What he did to humanity, all because a dumb bitch broke his heart. He's going to ruin the rest of the world, just like Bill Gates wants to ruin the world and depopulate the world because there's some guy threw a pie in his face and he's a fucking nerd. Weak men really did ruin this fucking experiment called Western society. He's got flies, like Satan's flies, in my house. It's weak men. That's how I started this channel, talking about weak men literally created this, and masculinity and boundaries is the answer. And then I kind of double back because like it keeps changing around like what the issue is, because now women are very clearly unhappy, and they created a lot of this too. It's a fucking mess. It's unfixable. And my point of this video is that if I could help anybody and like wake anybody up, because women won't talk about this. That's just not, that's why I would always blame men, because women just don't have, it's in their nature we can have women lead and do all this all they want, but they're always going to be physically weaker. Just like a little boy isn't going to be like saying dumb shit to a giant, their father. He's a leader by physicality. That's how things start. You'd be an idiot if you're a woman and you just like start talking shit to everybody. And some women do that. That's a whole different story. But my point is like, and it goes against their own, like, it puts, I don't know if to qualify it. It's men's job to talk about this stuff, and that's not even what I mean. It's not men's job to talk about this stuff, but we are supposed to do the difficult thing, and tell the truth. There's just so much cowardice. It's ridiculous. So much cowardice. If you're a woman, and this is really the point of the video, is I just think if you're a woman and you're in your 20s and you're with a guy and he's half decent, just sit the fuck down right now and be like, Daddy Steven's talking on his YouTube channel and he's going to tell it like it is. Shut your mouth and listen. I'm just kidding. No, don't say that, but I don't know anything, but this is my perspective and you're watching it still, so it's on you. The narcissism, although like people are kind of waking up with the social media, I don't think narcissism's going anywhere. I think the people that are doubling down with the social media, I keep seeing, like, I pop into Facebook every now and then, and just like I've been doing it for years, where I will look at how many times a woman posts how many times a woman, it's always a woman, how much they post in a day. And I would look at certain women that have 15 posts a day. And then inevitably a mental health thing comes up. And it's just like, it's not going to be good for these women. My generation women between the ages of 30 and 40, they're in so much trouble. They're in so much trouble. Women right now between the ages of 30 and 40. I'm 37. I know I'm 37. Jesus, that happens fast. But like I've seen like the way social media has affected them, and they're doubling down, and it's sick. It's not healthy. It's cope, and they're hooked. And it's so bad. It's so bad. If you're, that generation is sucked into it. And I don't know about women in their 20s. I don't too many girls in their 20s anymore, but you still have your value. Please, girls, please, I beg you, for the sake of humanity. Because you're going to see this happen. You already are. I know, if you're being real, you're seeing women older than you that are in big, big trouble. And yes, that happens from the beginning of time, but now at scale, like the percentages are really, really, really off. And you don't even have to have kids. Like, just having a partner you can trust. I personally don't think there's any point to being with someone if you don't love them so much you want to have more of them. I think that is just healthy, and our society has done a really good job at tricking us into thinking that's the dumbest thing you could ever do. And so many women are going to be in their own personal hell, and they already are, believe me, because they wake up to the lie that was, because it hurts women ultimately in this really kind of short-term, mid-term period, because it's not even if you want to have a kid or not. It's that you cannot have one. Okay, great, you can't have one. I didn't even think about this notion. I didn't even think about this as a man. I didn't know this. So how do women expect women to not, unless they had really a good family, and a good father and a mother to teach them this? But I'm a man. I'm just being honest. Like, I didn't think about this, and I'm an older man. So I'm telling you, we do not look at you the same way. You could be the most beautiful woman on the planet. I'm not saying this is like a, like, it's just fucking biology. The same way you look at a man, I'm talking to women now, you look at a man who is, playing video games all day, watching Pornhub, and fat, and out of his frame, just a loser. The way you look at losers, we kind of look at women as after 45 as losers. That's how we look at them. You're beautiful. We think we can be with you. You're doing all the right things. Like, there's the proof in the pudding. Just like you look at a guy who doesn't have a lot going for him, but he's doing all the right things. You might be with him and hope he keeps that going. But with men, we look at you like that. The women usually have to have everything going for them. If you're 45, you got to have all this stuff going on. Like, you're just in great shape. You're very funny. You're great in bed. All these, you're very like nurturing. Then it's like, yeah, some guys will choose that, but a man will always look at a girl who's 23 different than you, because that's a family. That's a whole life. That's somebody that he can build with. Men, it's in us. It's so ingrained. It's an innocence in like a building. Like, a man teaching a woman, the ways of the world, and like being able to like grow with her and like have that like potential family. Even a guy who's in his 40s, 50s. We're not going to look at a 45-year-old woman the same way. And so my point in saying that is that A, you can't have kids anymore, and then B, your value, because of that, it's just like, I don't care what any guy says. I know what I'm talking about with this. Even young men, any man who's a real man wants a family. They just don't know it yet. Pre-30, we don't think about it. Especially nowadays, just like women. But the difference is we get time, essentially infinite time, to be idiots and figure it out. And that's the sneaky thing, is you guys don't actually look down on us. Like we just, yeah, value falls off a cliff. I mean, it's going to be really, really bad. The cope, the other women, tearing young women down, gaslighting men to thinking they're like weirdos for liking, younger women, girls in their 20s when they're in their 40s. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's going to be a huge thing. I'm guessing in the future, the very, very short future, because I think the chasm is going to get wider, where like men are going to have more value, the guys who keep building up their value, because again, just like men can't help how we feel about you based off your age, women can't help how they feel about men based off their framing and their competence and their attractiveness and their humor, like all these characteristics, but mainly their confidence and competency, their masculinity, their essentially competency. You don't have that, usually very young as a man. And so in this backwards world, it's going to be crazy. Men in their 40s, women in their early 20s. It's going to happen more and more. And it's going to get way worse. It's going to get way worse as far as the narcissism. Social media, creating narcissists, that narcissism, which is another thing I want to say in this video of why things have gotten so bad. Like, I just think about my childhood. It feels the same thing. I feel like everyone is now living in what I lived in growing up. It's all lying, shortcuts, just like no one's taking any vulnerability to like express real needs or emotions. It's all like, how can I manipulate? How can I gaslight? How can I not take responsibility? If someone's arguing with me, I'm just going to leave the room, and like nothing's ever handled. No one can. That's narcissism. That's broken people taking easy roads. There's a reason narcissism has gone on in families. It makes you into a freaking, if you survive that shit, you are a beast. But if we do it collectively as a society, we just create hell. They say 1% to 3% of the population are psychopaths in human history. I think Peterson said that. I think I agree. It's like, that's not just personality disorder. That's specifically psychopathy. And that's a big percentage. And then he said at 3, it goes up to 3 when things are like in turmoil times. But I think we can get up to 5, get up to 6, 7, 8, 10% psychopaths. Seriously. It seems crazy, but I think we can get to 10% psychopaths. You got 5% BPD, 10% narcissists, which are also psychopaths, or psychopaths are narcissists. And then you got, when you go over half the population being personality disorder, which I'm saying that like it's like in the future. I think we're there. That's why things are fucked. We all have personality disorders. They diagnose with BPD, not PTSD, and whatever, ADHD. Like most of these personality disorders come from trauma. And to fix trauma, you have to be truthful. You have to be vulnerable. You have to first of all, admit there's a problem. That's the first step of any solution, of course. But in 2025, we don't do that, do we? No. We like to bullshit ourselves. So, Gaslighters Anonymous, please. I want to be a victim. I made this face smile. Hello, everyone. This is my new narcissist face. Hello, everyone. Don't let this face trick you. I'm secretly that's the inner narcissist. Hi, everyone. I'm really fun and special, and I'm really charismatic. But don't ever tell me I'm wrong, or else I'm going to blame it on you. There we go. That's the narcissist. Hello, everyone. I act really strong, but it's really because I'm weak. Only God can see it. And I'll pay when I burn in hell, when society collapses. Oh. No, it's going to be bad out there. Anyway, it's a little convoluted video, a little bit ranty. That's how I roll. Delete your Facebook. Ladies, please delete it.
Daddy speaking, delete your Facebook. Little girls, or you're going to pay.
I don't know. That was really creepy. I shouldn't have done that. Sorry about that. That was weird. I don't know why I did that. That was weird. Can we cut that out? Let's cut that out. All right. If you're still watching, pretend I didn't do that last part. And have a good day. And delete your Facebook. And especially if you're in a relationship, just delete your Facebook. Tom Green was right. Look up Tom Green, our Lord and Savior. Tom Green. He's a sweet, empathic, beautiful soul, and he can see the future. He did it with all of the different things, including, fucking punk rock, filming in real life and podcasts, created podcasts, essentially created and innovated everything. And now he, of course, saw this coming and he said to do it, and no one did it. No one cares, but no one's going to listen to this either. But I'm going to watch Tom Green right now. I'll feel better about life. All right, guys, have a good one. Hang in there, and don't be a narcissist. Be aware of it. Bye-bye. I love you.